expertise he has with some of that more advanced tech.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to have that experience that he had at the highest level, just the stories he has from working with guys and seeing what works for them and just kind of seeing that inside part that you don't see anywhere else. It's awesome. Just kind of bringing that down to the college level so you can see it kind of progress all the way up is really cool, and it's fun to be a part of.
For you specifically, what have you actually learned, and how has it sort of helped you improve?
I mean, it's with everything. It's just the small things. Kind of all the basics are still the same that we've been doing, and then it's just the little things. Hey, this slider grip might change this, and it shows up on the data, or this is what Sonny Gray did in this kind of situation. And then just being able to see it real time and how it affects a big league game, you can really just see how it would impact us as a staff.
How
did you work on this summer and fall? What have you really been keen on?
Really, it was just trying to get back to a routine of being fully healthy. Last year, it was a little bit of a struggle trying to figure it all out because I've been so long. And now kind of that I have that foundation, just building upon and stacking one day after another, has led to what I thought was a pretty good fall, and just got to keep building off of it.
How does Wes relate to you guys? How does he communicate to you?
I mean, it's just the same as us. It's just conversations. He's a fun guy to talk to. We talk to him for hours. We're sitting down there, whether it's during practice, during intrasquad, it's just always conversation and just keep talking, and just kind of bringing it to our level as college athletes of what we need to do to be elite. It's just kind of cycling it all through of where guys started, where they were in the big leagues and maybe had some struggles, which kind of similar to maybe some of our guys, and then just seeing them progress. It translates just because it's the major leagues, and you can see how it affect the game.
When he was talking to us, he's like, baseball's baseball. Can't do anything else. Do you feel like this is your year to kind of prove who you were and can still be?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a accumulation of everything I've been doing for the past few years, and I think it's all come down to this year and kind of everything we've been doing, and I'm really excited to go out there and kind of prove what the last few years have been working towards, have been building to.
Who else has impressed you on the mound?
I mean, you got everybody. Two that I live with that are Paul Skeens and Thatcher Hurd. You hear a lot about them coming here and how good they were going to be, and then just seeing them on a daily basis. It's impressive the work they put in, what they're willing to give up to be as good as they can be. It's really fun to watch, and it's fun to spend that time with them and kind of learn from them.
Last year was like the first time you were pitching in 2 years.
Yeah.
What difficulties came with kind of getting back into that rhythm last year, and how is it different now?
I'd say the biggest thing is kind of stacking games all the time. Those in 21, kind of in that summer, I knew exactly when I was going to throw, and it kind of let me build what I needed to do to be ready. And then in a season, it's kind of, you just got to go. So it's kind of figuring out what my body needed to stay loose, stay ready, kind of eliminate some of that soreness. And now having that full plan with that year of experience, it only makes it a little bit easier and just kind of frees more things up.
Is Paul and Thatcher by dinner most of the time?
Usually we change between the three of us.
How about that room? I mean, that's a pretty solid roommate pairing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's me, Thatcher, Paul, and Sammy Dutton. Get along really well, do a lot of stuff together, and spend a whole bunch of time here together.
Do you guys talk baseball at home, or does that just?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all the time. It's if we got a question or just kind of thinking or watching some video, we just kind of sit downstairs and discuss some things, kind of all help each other in what we need to do to improve.
Does this year's team feel a lot different from last year's team, whereas last year you're kind of figuring out what Jay wanted, and now you have an idea of?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you noticed it a lot more kind of right off the bat in the fall of this is how we're going to do things. It wasn't that learning process. And I think last year's team adjusted really well. I mean, myself, Coop, and Barry knew what to expect, but not really anybody else. And I think this year's team has a lot more guys who knew what they needed to do and are kind of bringing all those new guys along with. So it's kind of cool to see that culture take over really quickly.
Thatcher giving away his NIL money, is that crazy?
No, it's awesome. I love it. If I told him when he started doing it, if he needed any help with it, I was all there. He wanted to kind of take it by himself, so it was really cool. I'm really proud of him for doing it.
You mentioned Riley, kind of forgotten, right? I mean, think about how critical he was last year. How is he this year with a little bit more support, right? You don't have to be the guy every game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it helps him out a lot more. He doesn't have to be just that one lefty. We got Nate Ackenhouse, Griffin Herring, DJ Primo, a bunch of other lefties we can go to. So I think that takes a little bit of that pressure off Coop and lets him go out and compete. You're going to see some really cool things. Start throwing a knuckleball. Started mixing a bunch of fun stuff in. He looks really good.
Is the knuckleball pretty good?
Yeah. I play catch with them. We screw around with it, and it's legit.
Have you added anything new to your arsenal, or have you just kind of fine-tuned your stuff?
It's a little bit mostly just fine tuning of kind of how everything fits into what we want to do, where we want to throw things, and making some adjustments of how the ball comes out of my hand. The change up in the slider of how they play off the fastball and the curveball have been really huge, and Wes has played a really large part in that.
Does he hide it well, Riley?
Yeah. I mean, that's part of our thing in the inter-squad is our job as pitchers to learn other pitchers' tactics, trying to figure out how can we pick them, how can another team pick them. And Coop does that really well. He fields his position really well. He does that kind of small things that nobody really wants to do, like the run game, holding the ball, the picks offs, fielding the comebackers and the bunts. He does all that stuff really well. And yeah, just the knuckleball fits right in with it.
What kind of impact has this new strength and conditioning coach made on this team? Like, what differences have you seen in the training?
I'd say the biggest thing is we kind of, when we talk to Derek about it, it's how does it translate to what we're doing on the mound? Whether it's some more rotational stuff, some lower body stuff, it all, when he sets that program up, it's designed to impact us as much as it can on the field. So we have that conversation of how does this specifically translate? And it's really cool to see just down the list of what we're doing and how it'll impact us.
How are the sleds?
The sleds are fun. Not really, but they're, if they need to be brought out, they need to be brought out. It's kind of that last kind of resort thing that if we need to get something done and we're not doing things the correct way, that's what we're going to do.
How does that like translate? Do you feel like that translates, or does it feel like just punishment?
Oh no, it definitely translates. You push a few of those in practice, and throwing in games suddenly isn't as taxing on you. They get after you pretty quickly.
Wes Johnson's talking about how he's giving out some books of certain things, biomechanics or pitching books or anything like that. Have you received any sort of book or any sort of advice?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot to do with our pitching staff. We all have books, whether it's the mental side, whether it's pitching. We're all kind of just swapping around, seeing what other people have. We got a bunch of guys taking notes on everything, and then just being able to have that conversation with each other of, hey, this is what I took from this. What did you take from it? Kind of brings us all together, and we're kind of just bouncing ideas off each other.
Tell me about these hitters. Jay's obviously complimenting the pitchers a lot right now. Are the hitters getting through? Are you seeing some?
Yeah, absolutely. Every single time you step on the mound, it's a challenge, and it's fun because no matter what day you're throwing on an inter-squad, no matter what team you're throwing on, there's guys that are going to compete. And it makes those inter-squads so much more intense, so much more high level, and a lot more fun, knowing that every single guy going up there knows what they're doing and can punish mistakes. It just elevates all of us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.